Mosaei, the fifth Shir, Likutei Torah, Sefer B'Midbar, Daf Peites Amud Aleph. We're trying to keep to 5 minutes as much as possible. I had to finish yesterday a little bit quicker. Just a quick synopsis of what we have spoken about. In each one of the midas, in each one of the characteristics, you have each one including of all the rest of them. So you have the concept of chesed and gvura and tiferes. You have the kindness, the stringency, and the mercy. So each one of those characteristics is included of all the other characteristics. Generally speaking, we have 7 characteristics, which are like the 7 branches of the menorah. And similar to that, in each person, he has those 7 characteristics. Now, in each one of those characteristics is included of the other characteristic. But in that we can do including in one of 2 ways. In 6 or in 7. That's what we're going to explain a little bit later on. The difference between Sfiras Eimer, which is 49 days, and the traveling through the Midbar, which is 42 days. The traveling through the Midbar, which was the concept to elevate their characteristic to the highest level, that the characteristic of a person should only go in the right direction. For that you need to have 42. Each one of the characteristics included out of 6. Because the 7th level of each characteristic, which is the level of Malchus, is more connected out to bring it to actuality. That level, to bring it to actuality, was not necessary because they're trying to elevate it, not trying to bring it down to this world. We're going to see that it needs to be elevated and needs to bring to brought down to the person and through that shining the world, but not to bring it down, that shining to the world as the characteristic down to the world, rather that they purify that level and they elevate themselves. That's the main point of it. And therefore it's only included of 6, not of 7. So yesterday we spoke about how each one of the characteristic is including of the other one. So he took specifically chesed and explained how all 6 characteristics include in it. And then he started with gvura and explaining at least the main 3, which is chesed, gvura, tiferes. And those are the main 3. Generally speaking, when we're talking about the characteristic, they're divided, or for all the 10 spheres, can be divided into 2 types, to 2 levels. One in the lines going vertical. In other words, we have one line which is a kindness, the second line which is stringency, and then the middle which is the middle line that is the middle. According to that calculation, you will have from one side chokhmah, then you have chesed, and now that you have netzach. That's been the right line. And the left line you're going to have bina, then you have gvura, then you have hey. And then in the middle you're going to have keser, or if you don't calculate keser, you calculate das. So then you have the keser, and then after that you're going to have, in the characteristic you have tiferes, and then you're going to have yesod, and it goes down to malchus. There's another way of calculating in the spheres, not in the vertical lines, but in horizontal lines. Basically what that means, there's certain levels which are understood, level of seichel, which is chochmin nevedas, will be under one category. And then you have the ones which are understood and felt, a person feeling certain things, and that will be chesed, gvura, tiferes, which is the main of the characteristic. And then you'll have things which are made into nature of a person, and that's what he's going to follow even without the understanding. In other words, once he already agreed to it, it was agreed in his mind that that's the way it's supposed to be, then he follows that level. And that's going to be a level of netzach eid yesod, which is just following this direction. So in the previous day when we spoke about chesed, we spoke about the concept of feelings, the midas, chesed, gvura, tiferes. Then we went also to the muskamis, things that were agreed upon in his mind, in his heart. He agreed on certain things, and he continues the whole day, even though he doesn't have the level of alevai sheyispal adam kol hayom kuloi. It will be very fortunate if a yid would be able to daven the whole day. But unfortunately it's impossible, so he has only the shining from it, which is netzach eid yesod. When he spoke about gvura, he only spoke about chesed, gvura, tiferes, in that level, the level of the actual characteristic, and the levels which are accepted once he already felt and he pushed it down, he have not spoken about it, but it's the same idea as by Chesed, goes by Gvura, and all the rest of them as well. And tomorrow Mitzvah Hashem will continue about seeing the difference between the 42 traveling and the 49 days of Sfiras Eimah.